Hello, everyone. It's Steve with Aptera Owners Club. Let's talk about Sono and Lightyear. So, just today, if you go to Sono Motors website, if you go down, they have a post talking to their community, thanking them for their support, and then letting them know that they're transitioning to a solar company rather than a vehicle company. So, they're going to focus on their solar panel and encapsulation technology and using that to retrofit buses and trucks and other vehicles as an aftermarket or as an OEM supplier to some manufacturers to convert their vehicles to solar or partially solar vehicles. So that is what their investors and their board told them to do several months ago because that was actually generating revenue, but they really wanted to build the Scion and they had that Save Scion program that they were not able to do it. So if you look at their blog post, um, it says, what happens now? They're going to go to become an integrated solar technology company. So they said, despite having more than 45,000 reservations and pre-orders, we were compelled to react to the ongoing financial market instability and streamline our business. Given the resource-intensive nature of the Scion program, including personnel requirements, we are now implementing severe cost reduction programs. So the vehicle program costs a lot of money and takes a lot of capital to go into production, and they were not able to find the funding to continue. Um, so first, we weren't able to convince investors in the light of the ongoing financial market instability to invest in a capital-intensive hardware product. This is the problem that Aptera is facing now. Aptera is in the same financial market instability situation that Sono Motors is in, and it is a capital-intensive hardware project. Now, I think that Aptera has an advantage in that since they are an auto cycle, they don't have to meet quite all the regulatory constraints of a four-wheeled vehicle that's considered an automobile. So that makes them much less capital intensive. So that is good. But finding financing is difficult, as we all know. Second, it is unfortunate, despite this want need, that a government does not see stable solutions for mobility in the same way. They did not receive any governmental support. So that is hopefully not what's going to happen with Aptera. Aptera is going to apply for this ATVM loan. I really hope they get that, and I honestly think that may be our best shot to getting into production is getting the ATVM loan. The ATVM loan is very well funded through the last round of legislation. They have lots of money to give out, and hopefully Aptera will get it. Unfortunately, Aptera did not qualify for the incentives, the tax incentives, because they were, whenever they have those incentives, a lot of politics and lobbying gets into the picture, and they are basically supporting conventional vehicles and not the more efficient unconventional vehicles like the Aptera. So we're kind of in a similar situation there. But anyways, I hope we get the ATVM loan. That is going to be very, very helpful. Um, and third, decisions were made in the past, especially in the early days of Sono Motors, that also led to this issue. We underestimated how difficult it is to raise the necessary funds. Any delays caused by fundraising or other factors had an impact on development and thus the timeline, which in turn required, again, more funding. This is, I think, a very important statement that if you underestimate how difficult it is to raise funds, then that delays things, which increases burn rate, and then you use more funds um, just to keep the doors open while you're waiting for more funding. And that may be the situation that Aptera gets into unless we find a quote enlightened billionaire or get the ATVM loan or this Aptera Accelerator program really takes off in the next month. We're going to burn money in the burn rate. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But these are the same constraints that everyone is facing. 2 years ago, financial markets were good, but in the past 2 years, things have not done well. So it's hard to find funding. So if you look at Sono Group's stock, you can see after their announcement today, they dropped almost 30%. So the markets were not happy about the news. And so it's a little disheartening to look at their graph. They were at $25 a share right after they IPO'd, and now they're sitting at 62 cents a share. So that's not good. If you look, if you had prepaid into Sono Motors, they are planning on paying you back. But it's going to take them 2 years to pay you back, according to this. And they're going to pay you a bonus of 5%. Now, we know that um, interest at banks right now is hovering around 3 to 4%, and you can get CDs for more than 5%. So giving you 5% of your money back over 2 years isn't great. And I think they're just cash poor, and they're holding on to your deposit and using it to fund their operations, which the laws in Europe may be a little different, because I would have assumed that this stuff would be held in an escrow account and would be untouchable, and they would have to pay you back immediately, which I'm almost positive is the case with Aptera, that if they were to fold, everyone who paid their $70 or $100 deposit, so it's $70 if you use a referral link like the ones in the descriptions of these videos, or it's $100 if you just go straight through their website. Those, I believe, I'm almost positive, are held in an escrow account, and that you should be able to get that back immediately. But evidently, Sono Motors, they are holding their deposits until 2025, and giving you back 30% and 40%, and then the last 30% in January of 2025. Now, let's switch gears a little bit to Lightyear. Remember, Lightyear was saying that they went bankrupt, and people thought that was the end of Lightyear, and I don't know if you guys remember, but I put out a video saying that I thought that was a little bit of a misunderstanding. Lightyear was not going bankrupt. They were basically doing a planned bankruptcy through a shell of one of their subsidiary companies, and protecting their IP. And it was just a financial mechanism by which they can offload a lot of their debts and obligations. I think they basically stiffed Valmet, their contract manufacturer, and a couple of other suppliers for the Lightyear Zero, and realized that that was not financially tenable. So that, quote, bankruptcy was just basically financial maneuvering to protect their IP and to get some creditors off their back. And then they kept their intellectual property, found some more funding, and they relaunched their company to focus on the Lightyear 2. Now, I wish them well, because I feel like Lightyear has great technology, and it is kind of the most efficient kind of car you can get with four wheels that looks conventional. If you want to get more efficient than the Lightyear, you probably gonna have to go Aptera's route and have a very unconventional looking vehicle. But Lightyear, got almost as good efficiency as Aptera in a conventional looking package, which a lot of people found attractive. Um, Sono, on the other hand, although I really like the guys, they seem like good guys that started this company. Their vehicle itself was not very efficient, and didn't have the efficiency needed to make solar really a compelling on their thing. So I believe that Aptera and Lightyear were much more compelling vehicles than the Scion. So I'm not surprised that the Scion, of the three, was the first to kind of give up. Lightyear, hopefully, I'm hoping they make it, but I think them having undergone this bankruptcy and really hurts their reputation. And I don't know if suppliers and contract manufacturers are going to want to work with them, or they're going to be a little more wary of working with them in the future. So that they did kind of put themselves behind the eight ball a little bit by doing that. But their maneuvering did protect their intellectual property and made it possible for them to relaunch and continue on. And hopefully it doesn't come back to bite them in the butt. All right, so not unfortunately not the greatest news. I do think that Aptera has many advantages over these two companies, in that they're much less capital intensive because of the vehicle sector they're in. They don't have to meet all the same requirements and regulations as full automobiles. And then their manufacturing with CPC Group makes them be a little cheaper in the way that they make their bodies. And it's just a much more compelling vehicle, I think. It's a bit of a niche vehicle, the Aptera, but I think the niche that it fills it very well, and there's enough people that are interested in the vehicle to make it a viable project. It's not going to be a mass market project, but there's enough people to make it, you know, if they sell several hundred thousand, I think they're going to do very, very well. And then they can move on to a more conventional looking vehicle and hopefully grow the company that way. So that is the update on Sono Motors and Lightyear. Um, I feel bad for Sono Motors, but I kind of you kind of could see this coming when we checked on them a couple of days ago, and they had 9 days left in their campaign, and they were not even halfway to their goal. So not surprising. Okay, well, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks as always to our supporting members, and have a great day, everyone.